Hello everyone, this side Saumya Grover. I am the course coordinator for the subject Principles of Communication BAJMC 104. This is the introductory video to the subject. About the course, the name of the course is Principles of Communication. Its total credits are 4. It's a core course, first semester. The objectives of the course. The objectives of the course are to define communication and mass communication, to define the process of communication, to practice effective communication skills, to describe various models and theories of mass communication. We will also study the concept of communication, importance of communication, its meaning and functions. OBE and COs. CO1 will talk about demonstrate effective communication skills, spoken and written both, identify the various theories of mass communication, understand the concept of mass communication, familiar with the models of communication, effectively execute the types of communication. The LMS will have 4 quadrants and all the quadrants will be necessary for the student to complete. The quadrant 1 is e-tutorial. It will include the introductory video of the course, content videos, audios on each unit of the syllabi. In quadrant 2, the e-content will be available, which will contain self-instructional material, e-books, web resources, research papers and journals, and other references materials as well. Quadrant 3. It is the discussion forum for raising of doubts and clarifying them on a near real-time basis. Different topics on emerging issues will be uploaded from time to time and the students will participate in the discussion. Quadrant 4. It relates to assessment which contains multiple choice questions, short answer questions, long answer questions, and all of the above will be uploaded unit wise in the LMS. The learning process guidance note. Relevance of the course. Pedagogical processes. Live classes, assignments, quizzes, FAQs and clarifications on general misconceptions. Additional activities, the master classes, lectures by industry experts and professional case studies will also be provided. And different reference books will be there. The word communication, which means to make common at the simplest level, involves understanding what someone conveys and means, and in turn making someone else understand what do you mean. For communication to take place, it is important for some basic understanding to exist, which is possibly only when the two people feel and think about that subject on common lines. The more the commonness between two people, the better their communication gets. In the parlance of communication, the person who sends a message or communicates is called the sender or source, and the person who receives is called the receiver. Communication is not just an act, it is a process. It is a process which includes transmission of information, ideas, emotions, skills, and knowledge by using symbols, words, pictures, figures, graphs, or illustration. Communication regulates and shapes all human behavior. Therefore, it is important to have a clear understanding of the concepts of communication. Here in the lesson unit, we shall discuss the meaning and function of communication. Communication is as important a need for all the living beings as it is food and shelter, and all living beings invariably communicate within their community, be it the evening call of the birds to return back to their homes or barking of dogs in protest when a non-member enters their territory, or the dance of the honeybees to convey to other members whether nectar can be found. For human beings too, this is a natural, individual, and social need as man is a social animal. No normal human being can exist in isolation irrespective of his age, gender, and interests. Communication has different functions like informing functions, control functions, persuading functions, entertainment, coordinating functions, instructive or command functions. In the process of communication, we have 7 elements, which are the communicator, sender or encoder. Then we have encoding. Then we have a message, then a channel, the receiver, decoding, feedback. There were many earlier mediums of communication, which we also known as early communication methods. It can be cave paintings, handwritten documents or books, printing press, letter writing, telegraph, telephone, radio, photography, television, a cell phone, and the latest is the internet. Social media also plays a very important role in communication. There are 5 senses of communication, namely sight, hearing, taste, touch, smell. We'll also We'll also study about the 7 C's of communication, which are completeness, conciseness, consideration, clarity, concreteness, courtesy, correctness. The communication can be classified into various forms. We can When we talk about the types of communication, we have verbal and non-verbal communication. In verbal communication, we have oral communication and written communication. Apart from it, we also have internal communication and external communication. When we talk about the type of communication, we can also distinguish it with formal and informal communication. Then we'll come to different levels of communication. In levels of communication, we'll talk about intrapersonal communication, interpersonal communication, group communication, and public communication. Intrapersonal communication are the self-talk and memories, and these are the facets of intrapersonal communication. The interpersonal communication is done between two people or more than two people. Interpersonal communication is a face-to-face interaction between two people. In group communication, when a group of people communicate in a group situation for a common goal is known as group communication. Public communication is basically when there is a speaker who is addressing the audience. A public speaking presentation can be an example. A speech, debate, lecture are all examples of public communication. Further in this subject, we'll also talk about mass communication. The different mediums of mass communication, like the print medium, the electronic medium consisting of the radio, the TV, and the new medium, which is the internet. We will also talk about the mass culture, the effectiveness of mass media. Further, we'll be talking about the theories and models of communication. In model, which is a pictorial representation of the communication process, ideas, thoughts or concepts through diagram, etc. We'll talk about Aristotle's model, SMCR model, Osgood model, Shannon and Weaver model, Wilbur-Schramm model. We will also talk about the Helical's model, Loswell's model, Newcomb model, gatekeeping model, Gerbner's model. In theories, we will be talking about the bullet theory, two-step theory, multi-step theory, individual difference theory, cognitive dissonance theory, agenda setting theory. We'll also talk about uses and gratification theory, cultivation theory, medium theory, dependency theory, theory of selectivity, play theory. Thank you very much.